just a quick reminder, I will get things started once our first person is here. Well, either once our first person is here or we hit 5 minutes in waiting, I will get the stream underway. So, leave a comment, leave a like, something to let me know that you are here, and I will get this stream underway. Alright, we are at 2 minutes, so I'm gonna do another quick update. Leave a like or a comment, let me know you are here so I know to get this stream underway. Again, so I get this stream underway, leave a comment or a like so I know to begin. Alright, as we're now at the 3-minute mark, leave a comment or a like so I know you are here and I get the stream underway. That way nobody is missing anything. So, again, just let me know when you are here through a comment, a like, something like that, and I will get the stream started. Alright, it's been a few minutes, so, I think I'm just gonna get into it here. So, we're just gonna get things started, with probably what will be the most news-packed episode of maybe the entire year, to be honest. There is a lot to talk about today, so I would just say let's get into it. So let's head over to our first segment, which is You'd Never Guess, the weekend recap. So this is always a complicated segment, but what I use this for is specifically results, not just things that happened the past weekend. This is for results specifically. I do need to make a news section, because I don't really have just a section for news. I always just tell the news by the ending. I just need a section that just talks about news. That's what I need. So, we're gonna do what, as we normally do. We're gonna start at the smallest lineup and work our way up to the biggest lineup. So, I want to say, yeah, smallest lineup was Columbia, South Carolina, this past weekend in Colonial Live Arena, Saturday and Sunday, I think. Yeah. So, Wait, that's confusing. This is also confusing. So, this is a 3 or more event weekend, so I'm not going to go too far into the details, and I'm just going to tell you guys the basics. In the overall, so there were only 6 trucks. This is Arena Tour. Sorry about that. This is Arena Tour Central, but it's a reduced lineup, so there are 2 drivers that were not competing. So it's a bit of a smaller lineup than you'd be used to seeing. Even for an arena show, they're even making lineup cuts for arena shows, which are already small lineups, because why not, I guess. So we're just gonna go over the basics. It was a full weekend sweep for John Zimmer Jr. in the terminal velocity. He did not lose a single overall event champion, and he also won every freestyle competition, every donut competition, 2 of the skills competitions, and 1 of the racing competitions. So he got every freestyle win and every donut win, and then some assortment with the other wins. In Hamilton, and a place I don't know how to pronounce, this is also, oh, well, it is for points. It's just not, like, something that we're going to go into too much detail for, because rather than 3 events, I say 3 or more, this is 4 events, so we're really not going to go into too much detail with this one. This is Arena Series East, so just look up Arena Series East, and you should be able to find this lineup fairly easily. So, 3 out of the 4 overall event championships went to Weston Anderson. That was Sunday, and both Saturday shows, or sorry, Sunday night, both Saturday shows. But Sunday afternoon went to Armando Castro and El Toro Loco. Outside of Weston Anderson, the standings were kind of all over the place. The most consistency outside of Weston was actually Hunter Souza, but he did fall short Sunday afternoon, show 3. Then in Austin, there were only 2 shows, so we are going to go into a little bit more detail here. This is Arena Series West in the Moody Center, also this past Saturday and Sunday. This is standard Arena Series West, except this is also a reduced lineup of 6 trucks, and Barry Musauer filled in the El Toro Loco. So that being said, the Hall brothers were not present. They were the ones who did not end up competing at this event. And, now we are going to head over to our results. So we start Saturday night, show 1 in Austin. So this saw in racing, in last place, we saw Ashley Sanford and Megalodon. In 5th place, we saw Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger. In 4th place, we saw Bailey Shea and the Monster Mode Dalmatian. In 3rd place, we saw David Olfert and Velociraptor. In 2nd was Elvis Linus and Ultra Loco, but your time racing winner for event 1 was Tristan England. I'm just going to make this simple. Tristan England will also end up winning the skills challenge, the donut competition, and the freestyle competition. So just to save you a little bit of time here, I'm just going to go in and say that Tristan England had a full event sweep Saturday night in Austin. Moving into Sunday afternoon, we start in timed racing with David Olfert in last, Ashley Sanford in 5th. We see Bailey Shea in 4th, Kristen Anderson in 3rd, significantly higher than the past night. We see Tristan England in 2nd, and we see your winner, Elvis Linus and the El Toro Loco. In the skills challenge, in 3rd place, we saw Tristan England. In 2nd place, we saw Elvis Linus. Really, you can't be surprised to see them towards the top. But your skills winner would end up being Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger, which you don't actually see all the time. So that's a pretty good win for Kristen Anderson. Moving into the donut competition, in 3rd place was Tristan England. 2nd place was Kristen Anderson, and your winner was Elvis Linus. So Elvis Linus, Tristan England, and Kristen Anderson ended up winning this entire night, because in freestyle, Kristen Anderson would win, with Tristan England and Elvis Linus also in 2nd, meaning that in the overall, Kristen Anderson was tied for the win with Tristan England, but the win was given to Kristen Anderson. And in third place Tristan England was in third place. Second place was Elvis Linus. Velocity Raptor 32 is also here. So he's the first one actually to the stream, so shout out for that. Oh, I forgot we actually have 6 events to cover. Oh boy, we're in for a fun ride today. Because we also had an international event this past weekend after a good 2 months, and it was a very good event. So we're going to go over everything you need to know at this event, starting in round 1 of racing since it's only 8 trucks. Now, because this is not a standard lineup, I am going to go over. It is Matt Cody with Gravedigger, Charlie Pocken with Megalodon, Brandon Arthur with El Toro Loco, Chelsea Van Cleve with Zombie, Blake Granger with Max D, Miranda Kozad with Monster Mutt Dalmatian, Randy Brown with Blue Thunder, and Tony Oaks with Earthshaker. In racing, in round 1, Tony Oaks beat Matt Cody as he could not compete. Blake Granger ended up beating Miranda Kozad. Charlie Pocken ended up defeating Chelsea Van Cleve. And Randy Brown, his first event back since last year in London, is able to defeat Brandon Arthur. In the semifinals, another win in racing for Tony Oaks as he defeats Blake Granger. And veteran Charlie Pocken defeats veteran Randy Brown. And in the racing finals, to the surprise of some fans, your winner would end up being Tony Oaks and the Earthshaker defeating Charlie Pocken in the Megalodon. In the Skills Challenge, things would get a little bit dicey because neither Gravedigger nor Max D were able to compete. That is 2 events down for Matt Cody, 0 points out of it. In the Skills Challenge, in 5th place was Brandon Arthur and El Toro Loco. In 4th place was Charlie Pocken and Megalodon. In 3rd place was Miranda Kozad and Monster Mutt Dalmatian, I don't know what just happened there. In 2nd place was Randy Brown in the Blue Thunder with an alright first attempt. The second attempt, I remember he had a cool wheelie. And your skills winner would be your racing winner, Tony Oaks and Earthshaker, with another awesome victory for him. And then finally in the freestyle competition, Matt Cody finally was able to hit the track. In 5th place was Blake Granger and Max D. In 4th place was Randy Brown and Blue Thunder. To many surprise, including my own, Randy Brown would actually land the backflip perfectly. So that was pretty cool to see. He also had some pretty good air. In 3rd place was veteran Charlie Pocken with Megalodon. In 2nd place, who absolutely blew me away this past weekend, Matt Cody and Gravedigger had an absolutely incredible run with massive air, a little bit of ragged edge, and a well-landed backflip that did end up tearing up the front end of the truck. And finally, Miranda Kozad and the Monster Mutt Dalmatian, to a lot of people's surprise, would end up pulling out the freestyle competition win. She did land a container backflip. She did some cross-standing. It was a really cool freestyle. And really, I think this tour, with the exception of Randy Brown and with the fairly obvious exceptions of Randy Brown and Charlie Pocken, is a good amount of drivers that clearly display that they should be in stadiums. They're just not. Obviously, Brandon Arthur and Chelsea Van Cleve has a ways to go, but Matt Cody, Tony Oaks, Miranda Kozad, Blake Granger, they all did a great job showing their stadium potential. In the end, it would be Tony Oaks pulling out the overall event championship, so that would be absolutely incredible for him. As he doesn't get, I don't even know if he got stadium seat time last year, period. At all. But he comes out for what might be his first stadium event in years, and he ends up getting the overall. And now we're going to move into Reno. This was Stadium Tour Blue with a cut short lineup. Missing were Jim Kohler and Avenger, Chris Kohler in the Monster Mutt. We would also not see Bari Musauer present. Obviously, he was filling in Austin. And yeah, Ryan Anderson was also out. I don't think he was in Reno last year anyway. He never is really not in a stadium setting. I've never really seen Ryan Anderson outside of a stadium setting, with the exception of 2021 when they were looking for any drivers they could get. So again, I'm going to save you guys some time. It's 4 events. You guys don't want to hear me ramble about 4 different events. It was a full overall sweep for Tyler Menninga and Gravedigger, and he actually got a full event sweep. Show 1 Friday night. The other shows he stayed in the 30s, getting way more points than all the other drivers. So I'm just going to keep it simple. Tyler Menninga destroyed the entire weekend in Reno. Now it's time to talk about one of the more interesting stops in Monster Jam every year, Atlanta Motor Speedway. It was a bit interesting this time. From what I can remember, at least for one of the shows, Michael Pagliarulo filled in Vendetta for Mike Christensen, which was a bit of a surprise. So we're just going to go over and head into the results. This is Stadium Series Red, with the exception of that driver swap I just mentioned. You can find this lineup pretty much anywhere if you look it up, so I'm not going to waste your time and name every single driver for those people who already know it and want to hear the results. Since this is stadiums and there's a lot of drivers, we're just going to start in the semifinals. In the semifinals, Tom Meents and the Max D would defeat Cams and Murphy and the Bakugan Dragonoid, and we would see Tyler Duke and the Megalodon defeat Bryce Kenny and the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. In the racing finals, however, the win would go to Tom Meents and Max D, just like he did 2 years back when they first introduced this track style, and Tyler Duke would be defeated. In the Great Clip Skills Challenge, in third place was Tom Meents and Max D, celebrating 20 years and doing it right. In second place was Bryce Kenny and the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior with a couple good little moonwalk moves. And your winner, also with some good moonwalk skills, was Kansas Murphy and the Bakugan Dragonoid. In the freestyle competition, in third place we saw Caleb Blood and Soldier Fortune. In second place we saw Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. And your winner was Bryce Kenny and the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Now, this is how Atlanta usually goes, and it did go that way for Saturday night, the event we're covering now. It was, for freestyle, mainly just a lot of air and no crazy wow factors apart from massive air. Tyler Duke rolled over first hit trying to do a moonwalk, which, I mean, it was kind of laughable. I'm going to be entirely honest with that. And Bryce Kenny would pick up his second overall win consecutively of the year, so that was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure he got his first one of the year 2 weekends ago, or 2 events ago for this series, and then he just picked up another one. However, Sunday afternoon the results would look just a little bit different. We start in racing, where we see Adam Anderson defeat Cams and Murphy. Keep in mind, Adam Anderson was not in the semifinals the previous night. He didn't even make it to the quarterfinals the previous night, so Adam Anderson got the racing he was looking for, show 2, as he makes it to the racing finals to face off against his podcast teammate, if you really want to say that, his co-host, Bryce Kenny and the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. But Adam Anderson would end up getting the win over his Gears and Nachos counterpart. In the Great Clip Skills Challenge, it wouldn't be very unique. It was the same thing as last night. All the drivers just kind of did moonwalks, I think, except for Adam Anderson. In third place was Kansas Murphy and the Bakugan Dragonoid. In second place was Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. But your winner was Todd Leduc and Megalodon, getting over his embarrassing rollover, doing a moonwalk. Finally, in freestyle, in third place we saw Caleb Blood and the Soldier Fortune. Now, she had a locked planetary for a good chunk of the run, but it didn't stop her from getting huge air and crazy ragged edge moves. I think she would have got the win, but I don't believe she was able to fit a backflip in there, which is what costed her the win. But third place without a backflip, you don't see that super often today. So that's a pretty good score for Caleb Blood. And second place was Tom Meents and the Max D with a 9.759. He had massive air, backflip, and he had massive air off the pod that led him to the berm. He hit it with a ton of speed on the nose. The truck did a forward roll, but he wouldn't be able to save it. And with 1/1000th of a point more, with a 9.760 over a 9.759, it would be his arch nemesis Adam Anderson in the Gravedigger, taking away the freestyle win with massive, massive, massive air the entire freestyle run. And that, between that and his racing win, it would be enough to get Adam Anderson the overall event championship with 35 points. We're finally done with event results. That was such a long time. I am going to look back here now. I was surprised that Randy Brown was able to land the backflip because he's done like 3 events in the past 5 years. Well, I think he did a full series 2018, maybe 2019, but from what I know, I don't think he was present in 2020 either. At least not. I know he wasn't in stadiums. So it was a big surprise how well he was able to perform in freestyle. I mean, if it, like, say it was still back when he was driving a lot, I definitely would have expected it. But coming back after a long hiatus, it definitely took me by surprise. I don't think Matt Cody necessarily got robbed. Because, I mean, he had a good run. But he didn't complete his time, and 2, it was good air in a backflip, but we saw that a lot of the night. Miranda Kozad cross-threaded and got that cool crash and stuff. I think that's what allowed her to edge out the freestyle win. On that note, now we're going to just talk about the important changes in the power ranking, since I, again, don't want to drain your guys' time by going through every last change. Cole Vernard is back on the power rankings list in 20th after being gone. Todd LeDuc and Dalton Widener both climb up, while Corey Rummel falls down 1 spot, which is really just so that Dalton Widener could go up 1 spot. Tom Mentz and Barry Musauer both fall down, but that's to leave more room for John Zimmer Jr. and Bryce Kenny to go up. And Adam Anderson gets 4th on the power rankings, while Tristan England falls to 5th. I feel like we're finally done with the results now, but now we're just getting into some even bigger news. And this is news that I'm sure by now every single person has heard, but we have to talk about it. And it's the brand new Marvel renders that Monster Jam has put out, and yeah, they exist, that's for sure. So the Thor and Black Panther look incredible. There's no way to change my mind. I think Thor and Black Panther might be 2 of the greatest 3D renderings Monster Jam has ever done. Like, I don't know, something about them is just so cool. I feel like Black Panther nailed it. That is a perfect design. Thor could be a little bit better on the hood, but everything else with Thor is perfect to me. And I also think that's a really cool truck. These are 2 of the coolest 3D renderings I think Monster Jam has ever done. But then you move your way down to look at Spider-Man and Iron Man, and things get a little bit different then, because Spider-Man, the rendering for Spider-Man is alright, but I wish they took a different approach than they did. And they did the same thing with all 4 trucks. They tried to make them the head in a way. Thor's and Black Panther's just don't look bad. Spider-Man's is okay, but I really don't like the back end looks cool. I don't like what they did with the front end. I don't know what they were thinking with that. It just looks so weird. They tried to make the hood the eyes, and I just don't see it. It looks like a big white blob on the side of the truck for no reason. Spider-Man is not good. Iron Man somehow ends up being even worse than Spider-Man. I don't think there's words to describe Iron Man. I mean, the back of it's cool. It has like his little chest power thing where his fake heart is. But something about it is just so disgusting that I can't even look at it. That might be the worst 3D rendering Monster Jam has ever done. Like, right above it, there's Thor and Black Panther, 2 of the best things I've ever seen. And then right below them are 2 of the worst things I've ever seen. I don't know. I mean, Spider-Man's okay, but whoever designed Iron Man needs to be fired, because it's just not good. It's just not a good-looking truck at all. It looks like a dollar store version of Brodozer with a bad paint job. That's what it looks like. It looks like a bootleg Brodozer if it was produced by Disney to make more money. That's what Iron Man looks like to me. It's like if you took a rock, shaved the bottom of the rock off, and then hollowed out the rock and put it on top of a monster truck chassis. It literally just looks like, you took the arch out of St. Louis, made it smaller, and then put it on a monster truck chassis. It's just ugly. It shouldn't exist. So whoever made Iron Man needs to rethink everything they've ever done. But Thor and Black Panther do look very cool. And there's some other news I just posted about on my community section, but I'm going to talk about it here as well for simplicity's sake. So, you guys are going to get to see my little setup here that's very messy and not good looking. I think it's this one. Yep, there it is. Now you get the infinite void. Ooh. It's actually kind of fun to watch, I'm not going to lie. Alright, we need to focus. So, yeah, it's this article on the London Stadium website, 2 weeks after the World Finals, and also Dresden, I want to say, is the official date that Monster Jam is going to be in London this year. I believe the actual show for London was seen, accidentally before. I never caught the date, might have been released then, but we definitely didn't know about this back when that was leaked. So, oops. Let's put that back. So this is a huge shock for me. I mean, I guess I'm not really surprised that they're promoting the trucks internationally. I just know it's a big process to actually get the bodies there. So, this is your entire lineup, with the exception of one truck that's more than likely to be El Toro Loco. So, yeah, they just gave out the entire lineup here. And also, if we go over to the Monster Jam website, for Frankfurt, there's only 4 trucks given, conveniently lining up with the trucks named here, with El Toro Loco being absent, like I just said. What do you think the other 4 trucks are gonna be? Because, I mean, it's a stadium event from what I know. It's just logic that the other 4 trucks would each be the Marvel trucks. And then the other 4 trucks are Monster Jam's trucks that they want to promote because money. That's what I'm assuming here. So, I guess for now they're like promotions for the international events. But I'm sure they'll get their US debut sometime. I'm really excited to see the international tour, especially with Matt Cody and Blake Granger and Miranda Kozad and Tony Oaks all getting seat time in stadiums. I'm also interested to see what Bernard Light will do. I'm very excited to see all these drivers getting stadium potential. I'm interested to see what the driver pairs are going to be, assuming the Marvel trucks end up going the same way. So yeah, that's a big news drop that I don't really think they were supposed to say this, to be completely honest. They probably had an NDA and just didn't read it because it was just like another terms of service. I don't really know, but I mean, they announced this and Monster Jam never did, so whether or not that's supposed to happen, I have no clue. I'm gonna skip upcoming plans because really nothing important is happening right now, so I'm just gonna go to what everyone's favorite part of the episodes is. Look, you get to see everything. All my mess of a giant bundle of stuff. Now you can't see it anymore. So, yeah. Now we don't really have much else to talk about, I don't think, as far as news goes. I'm just really looking forward to what they do, particularly with the international tour. It's just so many drivers that, with the way Monster Jam does their lineups and stuff, you just seem to forget about. So, I mean, I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for a lot of these drivers, and I'm really excited to see what they put together on the international tour, especially looking at people like Matt Cody and Blake Granger, names that have been around for a while, but just, like, they're just not acknowledged enough, and they're always put into arenas or not even scheduled for shows at all. Like, when's the last time you saw those names in a postseason Monster Jam event? I sure don't remember the last time that happened, because it just doesn't. So they're getting a lot of seat time this year, especially compared to other years, and especially in stadiums. So I'm really excited to see what they're able to put together. Yeah, that's the big thing. That's just I'm pretty sure this is the exact same person that was on a different stream. Yeah, this person was on a different stream 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then they told me to get a job. So I guess they support child labor or something. I don't know. My best guess is that whoever this individual is supports child labor. So that's just wonderful, isn't it? I hope you have a good time with those morals. Personally, I'm just here enjoying my time off of school, especially since I got home late today. So, see, this is where my top entertainment factor comes from, though. Like, I don't want to ban this person because it makes my life fun. No, I'm not going to the World Finals, actually, because far and expensive. 2 reasons I'm not going. I might go to the Superstar Challenge. That's looking like... I don't want to jinx anything, but... I mean, that's a very relatively likely thing to happen. I wouldn't say very, but it's relatively likely to happen. But... there is, like... a 0% chance that I'm going to the World Finals this year. As far as I'm aware about, there's a 0.00% chance I go to the World Finals. So, it is what it is. I don't really care. I mean, I'd love to go, but it's just, this isn't the year to go. So, oh well. I have other years I can hopefully make my way out to the World Finals. I also want to see if Monster Jam ever expands their fields again. They've been running with, like, 48 drivers total each season recently. This year, technically speaking, it's been 56, but I don't think they're going to count the international tour. I'm pretty sure the World Finals is still only 24 trucks this year. I also kind of want to wait for when they actually start giving, like, bigger World Finals lineups, because the World Finals, from what I know, is always half of what the total number of drivers is. I'm reading the World Finals page right now. This is just telling me I can go to see 50 trucks in the pit party. And this is just telling me what events are gonna happen. Yeah, everything's just telling me get up close to 50 trucks. Like, that has nothing to do with how many people are actually gonna be in the, how many people are actually gonna be in the event. That's what I want to know. Because if they're still going to do 24 truck World Finals, I don't know. Just go to the Superstar Challenge. I know that's even cut to 16, but I mean, the World Finals is the World Finals. It is what it is. It's still a great event no matter what. A 3-bus jump? I mean, just a bus jump with 1 bus in Monster Jam now is impressive. I mean, I know they did it at the last World Finals, but you see that once in a blue moon that there's even a bus on the track. I mean, they try to act like they're still doing crush cars because they embed 2 cars in a ramp that nobody's gonna touch them this year. So they say, oh, you can't complain, we still have crush cars, but yeah, no. It's just like, it's just a bit silly. I don't know. Because here's the whole reason that Monster Jam banned crush cars is just really, really funny. I mean, I don't know if they sign, like, a contract and they have to wait for that contract to expire, or if they're actually still just on this deal. But Monster Jam will not give up with this BKT sponsorship. Again, I'm not sure if it's a contract that can't end yet, or if they're literally deciding to stay with BKT all the time. But BKT made them get rid of crush cars because their tires were too weak to handle crush cars. So, basically, your top sponsor is a tire company that made you get rid of the #1 most iconic thing about your sport, which to me really just screams that they're crappy quality. Like, that makes me want BKT tires way less than I would any other time. Their only profit or benefits that come out of being sponsored by Monster Jam at all is Monster Jam itself. They're really just kind of Sponsor Jam. I just said Sponsor Jam. They're sponsored by a company that takes away their most iconic part of their sport, and yet they stay with it. And I think that really backs the thing that a lot of people say. It's true that Monster Jam and Feld they're just in it for the money. They call themselves Feld Entertainment, but you know that it should be called Feld Inc. It should be called, like, I don't know. Feld just has no right to call themselves Feld Entertainment when they change out all the entertainment just for fun stuff. Like, that will get them profit. They call it fun stuff. They act like Monster Jam's getting more fun every year, and then they cut the lineups down to less trucks, to get rid of crush cars, all this stuff. Personally, I think that World Finals 21 was a good event. I just feel like, I mean, racing was awesome. I know racing is, like, you look at it how you look at it. Not everyone liked racing last year. Personally, I think it was awesome. The over-under with the big, muddy, rained-down track was awesome. Especially by the time it was the racing finals with lightning cracking the sky and all that stuff. In my opinion, coolest World Finals racing I've ever seen. But I have seen a little bit of arguing between that. So I don't know. It is how you look at it. High jump and skills. High jump is always boring. And too many trucks crash. But skills, I think that's the best skills competition Monster Jam's ever held, like, across any event. That was just a really good competition between Tom Mentz's moon flip, Ryan Anderson's save. Camden Murphy and, I want to say Brandon Vincent completely bombed it. But everyone else did really cool. Freestyle was great, though. It just wasn't like previous years. Firestone, to be honest, I don't really want any tires. I just want whatever tires. Like, I'm not gonna ask for a specific tire. Just let the drivers run what they want to run. I mean, not everything has to be a big advertisement campaign. I don't know. Like I said, Feld is like Feld Incorporated, not Feld Entertainment. Everything they do. Do you ever notice that everything they do conveniently leads to more money? Whether it is cutting the lineups down so that there's like less drivers, and especially with Feld bodies, they have to pay for their own bodies. They're saving money that way, and they're taking every sponsor they can get, and they're starting to go to these. I think they're going to the tours just so that it looks more involved and stuff for the fans, or whatever they like to say when they're talking about fan judging and stuff. But I feel like that's just like trying to sidetrack people, I guess, because everything else they do is just like a big money maker, especially with the diecast line. Yeah, the high jump competition is like funny. I don't know. It's not even a competition. It's just the high jump. They should call it the high jump event or something. Call it the high jump show. Don't call it a competition. It's not a competition. It's just you drive straight, you hit a little ramp, and you see how high you can go. It has nothing to do with skill, so it has no right to be, quote, a competition. I don't know. I don't think it should be called a competition. It's just not. I mean, it is how you look at competitions that I guess will change that, but, like, I don't view it as a competition. It's just, like, the high jump. They should just call it the high jump. Don't call it the high jump competition. There's, like, no competing. Just call it the high jump event or something. Because it's not a competition. It's just drivers go straight and hope to go the highest. Keyword hope. Not try to. Because they have no choice but to just drive. So. And they're all driving from the same starting point. I don't know. One thing I am interested in is what they're gonna do between the track and the scheduling for World Finals 23, because, or sorry, 22, because unlike every other World Finals that's ever happened, World Finals 22 is in one day. So, I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but we'll just have to see how it goes. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, how are you gonna make a World Finals track that's like highest, craziest action ever for the best event of the year, and then like make it one day, one track setup? It's always two track setups because they're made specifically for what different events are gonna happen. So there's a cool racing track and a cool freestyle track, because it's hard to make a track that's cool for both racing and freestyle. So I like that, how they used to do two different tracks. They're not going to make an entire second track during intermission, though. Like, really? I actually didn't know that. Were they actually? Hold on, now. Oh, wait, never mind. Monster Jam didn't... Hang on. I guess that would make sense. Well, oh! Well, yeah, that's true. I guess I was also kind of mixing the Young Guns with that, maybe. I don't know, actually. Well, I don't know, because, like, World Finals 13, for example, it wasn't that crazy, but I feel like racing and freestyle were decently different courses. I guess maybe not, though. I guess I'm just a crazy person. The worst World Finals track ever, I don't think, is World Finals 21. But I get opinions. If I had to say, my least favorite World Finals track... That's tough, because they're all cool in their own way. I feel like World Finals 15, I really like that track. Like, it's one of my favorite track designs. It's just so unforgiving to all the drivers that went on it, and a lot of them ended super early. So, although I like the track design, I don't think it worked out, in my personal opinion. Yeah, Iron Man is the worst. I said it before, but I'm going to say it again, since there's way more people here than before. Iron Man, the new modeling for it, is the single worst design I think Monster Jam has ever developed. I don't know. It's so ugly. Like, I don't know whose idea it was. Oh, gosh, there's a big picture of it too. If you look up the 2023 render on Google, there's an ad for the official Monster Jam site, and it's this big ugly photo with Iron Man's face in it. Like, Black Panther and Thor look really cool. Spider-Man, I'm kind of 50-50 on. It's not super good, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Iron Man just is. It just is. Horrible. There's no way to convince me that Iron Man's ever gonna look good, because the old Iron Man was cool, and I said the same thing with Thunder Roars. I was talking about how I didn't really like Thunderosaurus, but by now I actually do like it. I don't think it's gonna be the same way, because Iron Man is just so ugly. I don't know. Maybe once I see it in action or not in a render, I'll like it a little bit more. But where it is now, it might be the worst design that Monster Jam's ever made. I don't see myself ever disliking the Thor Black Panther designs. I'm just worried that that hammer on the back of Thor is going to cause so many issues with it falling off and then unnecessary RII happening. I could be wrong. You just don't see 3D things like that often. Maybe they're going to do it like the Monster Mutt tail where it's like on a metal rod so that it's not falling off all the time though. That would make sense. Monster Jam Vids is back. I believe they were here last week, if I'm thinking correctly. I could be wrong, but I believe you were here last week. This is a small change, but Monster Jam's added what tour everything is right below the event dates. They also made the full event dates, so they added 2023 to the end of them because they added a 2024 event for Arnhem. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Yeah, I would have rather they bring that like new Doomsday design that they made that never ended up running. The rendering that came out in like 2018 or something like that. That was really cool. I would have rather them debuted that than Thunderosaurus, but you know, Thunderosaurus isn't the worst truck, and I've seen it in person. So coming from someone that's actually seen the truck in action, well, I also know Velocity Raptor 32 has. It's an underrated design, personally. I don't know if that many people still dislike it, but I know I did. But especially seeing it in person, and in the pit party, the truck has no LEDs on the actual body, but the red was glowing like across the entire pit party. If I looked and saw a piece of that red, like I was like, it was so bright. That was really cool. I actually, like, that's something that the camera, you can't see that on camera. Like, but when you, well, I think there are LEDs, but obviously when the truck is parked, there aren't. And they're just so bright. Like, it's something that, if you see it on camera, you just don't observe it, I guess. But in person, it's just so crazy. Mr. Beast's truck, I don't even think he said a word about it. I don't think he's brought it up once. I don't think he's replied to it or anything. I don't think he knows it exists somehow. I mean, they still... Here's the thing. With Mr. Beast truck being said for, like, Team Tomfoolery or something, we haven't even seen Recreation Drive at a single event. Like, what's that about? Michael Pagliarulo is an awesome driver. Like, if you've seen any of his stadium freestyles, he's clearly ready for a stadium season already. I mean, he could improve in some places, but personally, I think he's better than some drivers who are currently on Stadium Series. I could be wrong, but I just think he's really prepared for a Stadium season. He gets awesome air. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to trash on anyone, because obviously, every driver on a Stadium Series this year is on a Stadium Series for a reason, because they're good. But Michael Pagliarulo, as far as momentum goes, he's shown more momentum than Ryan Deshroon and Joe Foley have. I mean, Joe Foley did good in Glendale momentum-wise, very good actually. But for their average runs during the season, they haven't got the best momentum. I don't think Michael Pagliarulo has had a single stadium or big floor freestyle that he hasn't sent it on, you know, a good 75% of the jumps. And also, you look at drivers like Jamie Gardner and Mike Christensen have great events, and they have events that don't go quite as well. But Michael Pagliarulo just goes hard every time I see him in stadiums. Now that being said, obviously, wait a second. Hidalgo. I don't think that's a stadium series. No, that's an arena show. That's not going to be a stadium series. 5 events? Okay, we're getting sidetracked. What was I just talking about? I already forgot. Oh, yeah. Michael Pagliarulo, the one thing he needs to get down if he wants to be on a stadium series, the one thing that Monster Jam wants every driver to do on a stadium series is do a backflip, because that's going to make them more money and get more attention. Especially since now they're trying to get people to post every single backflip that a truck does at Monster Jam on Instagram. So, if a driver can do a backflip, Monster Jam wants them on a stadium tour immediately. That's the one thing Michael Pagliarulo hasn't done, but his air is great. His skills game is great. I think he's been a pretty good driver. I don't believe he's rolled over during freestyle in a stadium setting, so I'm excited what his future will hold. And I'm sure one day he'll replace Matt Pagliarulo. I don't see that being soon. I think Matt Pagliarulo, a lot of people think his career will end soon, but I mean, this is his 8th year at it, or it's been 8 years, I should say. I think it's his 9th year, but it's been 8 years. Just in general, though, I did see him slowing down the past 2 years, but I don't think it's something that was super his fault. I think it was a lot of truck issues, and also coming back after being gone for a long time. But as far as Michael Pagliarulo, he's already Pagliarulo. That's a hard thing to say 5 times fast. But as far as he goes, I think he has a very good future ahead of him, and consistent one. I don't think it's not going to be Stadium Tour Red, though. I don't think. Hang on, let me check something. Am I crazy or no? Because I don't think Hidalgo, sorry, that's another thing you can't say 5 times fast. No, Hidalgo is not until September. So Stadium Tour Red ends in May? I think May. Yeah, Stadium Tour Red ends in May. So, it's just going to be a general arena event. It's going to probably, more than likely, be a blue track layout. I wouldn't expect Kraken or Jester there, just because it's, not going to be for a season. Nope, no Captain America. Which is a bit of a surprise, but I guess I could see it since he's not been present in MCU for, like, ever. So, I guess that makes sense. Endgame spoilers, oh no. Also, are we going to talk about how between September 22nd and October 8th, for the dates, there's a weekend between those 2 weekends that isn't posted, and every other Monster Jam postseason event is posted except for the one between September 22nd and October 8th. And usually my events are somewhere around October 1st. This would be the final day of September, but like, is it just me, or are they so conveniently putting every date but Glendale down? Seems a little bit funny to me. I don't know, maybe since ours was in April, we don't get a postseason show, which would be quite upsetting, or it's gonna happen after the Superstar Challenge. But the fact that they're conveniently leaving the one weekend that my show usually comes blank, I feel like they're putting it off for some reason. I don't know why, but they're just putting off posting my event. I don't get it. Well, it could also be because they were literally just here 2 weeks ago, not even, so I guess it makes sense. But yeah, I'm now realizing I'm one of very few stadiums that actually gets multiple events a year. Obviously, Houston always does, and same thing with Anaheim. I believe Arlington usually does. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Arlington, like, almost always has multiple events in 1 year. And a lot of the arenas typically do, as well as places in Florida. But really, I'm now realizing, like, I'm one of very few stadiums that on a typical year has multiple stadium events. So I guess that's pretty pretty lucky. Selena still has a truck and driver TBA, which means one of three things. Since there's so much Team Throttle Monster at this show, and there's 5 Team Throttle Monster drivers and 4 Fel drivers, it really means there's 2 ways this can go. One, the last spot is going to be like a new Team Throttle Monster truck or something, or it's going to be a new Fel truck, probably a Marvel truck. So, like, on one hand, you have, like, 4 Monster Jam Fel drivers and 6 Indy drivers. So the TBA would be more than likely a new Team Throttle Monster truck. Or, it's a new Fel truck that's the TBA, keeping a half and half lineup. And that would maybe be something like a Marvel truck. I feel like that would be a logical thing to say. Oh, cool, we have another Glendale. Yeah, we probably will. I think the main reason it's not posted is just because we just had an event and they're waiting to do that. Because all the people here just dropped their money on an event, and if people here see instantly that Monster Jam's coming back, they're gonna be like, oh, I just went there and I just spent all the money and stuff. But if Monster Jam waits a couple months and then releases the date, then people are gonna be like, ooh, I was there a couple months ago, it was really cool, so I wanna go back. I think that's their big marketing plan, which is logical. And I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel trucks debut in the US sometime soon, especially in Salinas, where there's a TBA. I feel like it would be logical to say that that'll be a Marvel truck. Also, Cody Saucier's on Stadium Tour Blue. He started in Reno, and then he's gonna be in the Monster Jam debut in Inglewood. So we'll have to see how that stuff goes down. I have no clue what the situation is with that track, but we'll have to see. If it's not a very big track, maybe even we'll see St. Louis style for the first time on Stadium Tour Blue. But they have had the same track layout every single weekend on Lake Stadium Tour Red. I don't think that'll happen. I'm just really happy that Cody Saucier finally, after 3 years, is back on a stadium tour like he's needed to be. Finally. And I'm hoping it stays that way into next year. I mean, not that I'm hoping Mark List doesn't return. If Mark List doesn't return, I'd be glad to see that. But assuming he doesn't, I'm really hoping Cody Saucier does not get taken off a stadium tours, because he needs to stay on stadium tours. Just make the stadium tours bigger. It's as simple as that. And then you don't have this problem. See, so Sharks have been on a rise in popularity in the monster truck community recently for absolutely no reason. Shark Reek came first. Then Megalodon came around, probably inspired since that was still Hot Wheels' sponsorship. I bet that was part of the inspiration for Megalodon. And then Hot Wheels became independent and made a real Shark Reek. And then 2 Extreme announced that they were making Team Scream announced they were going to make a truck, which I forget what it's called by now. Shark Bite, yeah. Yeah, I knew it. 2 Extreme released rendering for Shark Bite, and then before they could even get that out, Monster Truck Wars released Shark Attack that seems to be conveniently an identical rendering down to the color of the eyeball as 2 Extreme. So, like, Harper just straight stole Cretan's shark. Like, what was that for? I don't know. That's just a funny situation to me. And it's so blatantly obvious that's what happened. Maybe they just wanted a cheaper mold or something. I don't know. Also, everyone say bye to Velocity Raptor 32, and to be honest, probably good night, because this stream has been an hour long. I don't know when that happened. Yeah, there's just so much talk around the Marvel trucks. It had been so long since we heard the word Marvel in Monster Jam that, to be entirely honest, I completely forgot it was even ever the plan to be sponsored by Marvel. Like, I entirely forgot that was something Monster Jam was discussing at the start of the year. So I was Like, when I saw this, I was at first a little bit confused. I thought they were fan designs, and I was like, oh, yeah! Almost 5 months ago, actually, yeah, because of 2022 and a year, 5 months ago, when Monster Jam said that these trucks were going to exist, and then finally we at least have a rendering, and we at least know what trucks they're going to be 5 months later. So, at least we're getting them. At least we're getting them. Oh, great. Great. Harper's just doing everything he can to try and compete because he seems, I'm going to be honest, Harper seems more greedy than Feld. I don't know how you can be more greedy than Feld, but sometimes I really, really just feel like he is. He's also, like, shady. Like, he's gonna copy every single idea that someone else had first, and also let Brandon Bud drive. If you don't know the situation with Brandon Bud by now, just, like, look it up or something. I'm not gonna sit here and explain it. Brandon Bud equal bad guy criminal. That's all you really have to know. And then Harper let him drive in secret, covertly, at his own show. Why? I don't know. Because he's weird and he doesn't know what he's doing. So, yeah, I don't know what the whole situation is with Harper. He's way out of his mind. He is out of his mind with all the stuff he's doing recently. And I say that all with the knowledge that I'm going there in, like, 4 weeks. Yeah, I'm seeing Monster Truck Wars May 20th. That's 4 weeks from Saturday. So, oops. Or no, it's 3 weeks from Saturday. 4 weeks from this past Saturday. 3 weeks from this upcoming Saturday. So, I don't know. I just spent a bunch of time complaining about someone greedy, and then proceed to give all my money to them. So, I mean, my mistake, my mistake. What was I ever thinking? Yeah, I don't know what Brandon Bud is thinking, like, it's not, I mean, Harper's even more at fault for even letting this happen. The fact that it even cost Brandon Bud's mind to try and get behind the wheel again is just wild. That is just wild. I don't know. Everyone in that whole situation is, they need to just, oh, it's just so terrible. I don't think Brandon Bud is legally allowed to be driving again. So, yeah. Yep. He is still doing driving. That's unfortunate. He's even using the name Mike Harper at some of his events. That's just not okay. Because he's using secretive names. So one of them was Dave Woodcock and one of them was Kelly Schroeder. And now he's starting to use Michael Harper, according to Mike Harper's permission. That's just weird. Anyways, it's been an hour. It's been a good stream. I'm going to end things off here so that everyone's not up all night. And, I'm going to get some other stuff done. I still have a lot of work to do on the Atlanta video, although I'm closer to finishing it than ever before, because that's how project and progress works. Sorry, not project. I'm closer than ever to finishing the Atlanta video, because that's how progress works. So, I mean, realistically, if I actually tried, I could get it out by Saturday, but I feel like I'm going to get lazy again and put it out by the Saturday after this Saturday, so I don't really know. That's probably what's gonna end up happening. I don't know. It might be this Saturday, it might not be. If it's not this Saturday, I'll probably do an Arlington highlight video. Thank you guys for coming out, and I'll see you guys next time in Weekly Update Wednesday 22. Who knows what that'll be about? We'll have to see where the news takes us.